I'm Minna Pajulahti, IFBB Pro Fitness competitor. I have been 4 times in Olympia, and last year I placed eighth place. So that's about my competition history. I have been competing over 20 years, so quite a long time. As an amateur, my best results were second in the World Championships, and I'm a Finnish national champion as well. Many times did that one. And then I placed second in the Arnold Amateur USA. Yeah, and then I have been in Pro League over 10 years as well. I had some injuries. During those years, I snapped my Achilles tendon, and I did women's physique for a few years, and also I competed in powerlifting. And before those, I did also a cheerleading. I competed on that 15 years. And when I was 8 years old, I started gymnastics. It's rhythmic gymnastics here in Finland, and I competed in that as well 10 years. So I'm a national champion in, I think, in 5 different sports.
Wow.
And what else? I work as a flight attendant.
Oh, that's cool.
That's my main job, and I also coach athletes. And I have been involved with the whole fitness industry so long that I have been doing all kind of things. I have been writing a column in different magazines, having a lot of photo shoots, coaching, also judging internationally as well. And yes, and actually this year and also last year, I had my own show here in Finland. So it's Minna Pajulahti Cup was this year. It's a NPC regional show, and hopefully that goes on.
What actually introduced you to the sport of bodybuilding?
I have always admired female physique that is muscular and athletic. So I think those two things were something that I started to get interested about bodybuilding, because when I started, we had only women's fitness and women's bodybuilding. So then it was either or. And because of my background, I wanted to do routine. That was the main reason why I started to do fitness. And also in my area where I live in Tampere, we had quite many fitness competitors back in the days, so it was popular here. And I saw actually my old coach walking on the street, and I was saying to my mom, I was then 17 years old, that when I'm adult, I want to look like her. And then I actually I met her, and I said that I would be interested starting to compete, and what do you think, and could you help me? And so it started. And then I competed when I was 19 years old for the first time in fitness, and I did the routine. And then it was more about the routine because of my background, and it felt like more like normal way to get in the fitness. And then later on, it came more about that of course there is the routine, but I started to get more interested about building my body when I started to see the changes, and started to get more involved also about like building your body and changing the shapes and everything. And it's still so motivating that after these years, every year, or I even feel like every month, I learn something new about me, about my body, about how to get some changes into your body, or what kind of diets you can do, or also practice new routine skills. So this is so like challenging sport. There is so different like things you can all the time be better in. And of course, when the time goes and you are older now than when I was 20 years old. So of course there is like different things. I have more muscle now, for example, and I need to concentrate much more in the recovery. And so things also, of course, they change during the years, but it's still super exciting. It's challenging, and it's something that is really my passion. Like I'm so interested about everything about the sports. I love watching the shows and coaching athletes, seeing when they develop and get into their goals. And
From the outside looking in, there's this perspective that like bodybuilding is, going to work out, eating your meals, and you step on stage. But really, it's a culmination of every single hour of your day leading up into stepping on the stage. And for you, when you first got into the sport, was that overwhelming for you at all?
it was at first I thought that I wouldn't be like nervous or anything because I was already like done so many times going on stage. Of course, I performed then. I did gymnastics there, and we have like choreography and things like that. But I thought that I would be not nervous at all. But when I was there at the first time in my bikinis, I remember that I noticed that my lips were starting to shake, and I was like, "What is happening?" But then the next round was a different case. Then I really enjoyed it, and the nervousness was gone. But yeah, the first time being in bikinis on stage, even though you have done many things like I did cheerleading, despite that we competed, we also were here. Ice hockey is a big thing here in Finland and the city where I live. So I also was part of the ice hockey cheerleading team. So we were there every week, and we had a lot of course, spectators, and it was like every week we had that kind of like event, and where everybody was in a way watching us. So I thought that it would be the same, but it's totally different. But yeah, after the show, I was sure that this is my thing, and I want to compete as soon as possible again, and I want to be better what I do.
Because you're up there by yourself and the whole journey is kind of like, there's not staff behind you, a team behind you, really. I mean, you might have a coach, you might have like support system like that, but you're not necessarily, it's not the same way as you do in a sport or, in other organized, sports like that. So for you, was that like, is that something that you enjoy?
In a way, I think I enjoyed this because when I was younger, I did so many years team sports. So that was also the one reason why I got interested about fitness. I remember I was saying that I have been always in a team, so now it would be nice to try something like individual sport, where I can like schedule my own times when I train and everything. So, and also when I compete, it's all about me. If I make like powerlifting was, if I cannot get the weight up, I'm just weak. I just I just have to get stronger and train more or do something differently or something. So it's eventually it's all about you. Like you said that there is a really important thing when you are individual sport that of course the background team that you have like coach, and I also already say thank you to Alena Popa, who has been coaching me for years, and she's an amazing lady who helps me in every way. And then there is of course when I train I have a training partner, and also like power coach or who is checking out my training at the gym. So Jani Halainen has been helping me with that, and also in the mental side, because that's also something really important. When you are there alone, all the pressure and everything might come into you. So it's all about you, and also the mental side. I think it's really important in this sport because, like you said, it's a lifestyle. It's something that you have to do every day and think about in every aspect what you're doing, that you're sleeping enough, eating in the right times, and so on. So that everything has the great balance. You have a good background team that you can trust, that you know whatever happens, they are there. And whatever happens, Monday is going to be training day anyways. And in this sport, I think that's also like something different than all the others. That the competition is now. Like I'm competing against myself today, how I do my diet, how I do my training, because during the competition day, we have already done the work. And then we just go there and we shine. And then the judges put us in placements. but there isn't any more like you're not. Of course, we have the routine. That's the physical activity that we do during the competition day. So that's something where you actually compete and you can see how your nerves are with you, or if you are too nervous or something like that. But otherwise, I think, and that might be sometimes a bit hard because I'm really like a competitive person. I love the competition. Like in powerlifting, I just love it. When I see that, okay, that girl is lifting 200 kilos. If I want to beat her, I have to lift more. And I love that. In fitness, everybody is living in different areas. I don't know. They don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what they are doing, what shape they are. Of course, now it's social media, so where you can see a bit. But otherwise, everybody is just concentrating to themselves, to their training, diet. And then when the day comes, we go there and we stand on stage, and then we see what we need to train next Monday. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the huge difference. And it might be sometimes hard that you're so focused that you're all the time because you're alone in that way. And you have to create the competition every day from somewhere.
Because you have like a background of cheerleading and gymnastics, how long did it take you though to get used to doing these routines, learning the routines, performing the routines, while also not being, when you're on prep and you're competing, you're not necessarily fully physically and I guess sometimes even mentally, right? Like all the way there because of the state that you do put your body in. How long did it take you to get used to that and compete or in performing that routine and even practicing it?
Yeah, in a way, I think it was quite easy because of my background. And we trained like always like 2 hours or so. So that was really good support for my routine practice. And of course, in also in gymnastics, you need to have a healthy lifestyle. So in a way, I had some kind of experience with that. But of course, when the fitness routine came, uh, I had to learn new tricks. Like we didn't have any push-ups or we had jumps, but everything else was something that I need to learn. And I wasn't in a acrobatic gymnastics, so I was in a rhythmic. So also all the acrobatic moves. And then later on, uh, when I got more injuries, of course, that has been affecting as well. So I always have to think like what is wise, what is good to do, and what takes the effort. If it's like good to practice that and good to do on a hard floor because we have a hard floor, or is it something that it's not so, it's not giving me so many points in a routine. So that's always something that I need to like think. Because at this point, if I would have some kind of a major injury, it would be really bad. So now I think everything so that my body stays healthy and I can perform both the routine and also to the training and diet. So that's the main goal at the moment. The judge's feedback was that I have been evolving all the time with my routine, and it's starting to get there where I probably myself want. Of course, there is always something that you can add and you can do more clean routine, but otherwise it's starting to be close that. And I think, what I feel that is important that you can like, because fitness routine, it's not about gymnastics, it's not about acrobatics, it's not dance, it's not anything. I think it's more that you see that how muscular woman can still perform and do like explosive things and be flexible and things like that. And if you can like let the audience feel something, if you feel like, okay, this is a great show and I'm enjoying it, and or whatever it can be. It can be even a fear, or you can feel the all the how the athlete is doing with her face, and she's like affecting you. I think that's the quite important thing in fitness, that you can like let the audience feel something.
So
Yes,
almost like a transfer of your emotion to them.
yes, yes. And also your personality, like what kind of person you are. And that's also something that, because when you're watching routines, it's exciting that they can be so different. Like they can be like totally different routines. So how can you put them in the right order even? So I think that's one of the, in my opinion, the most important things. A good example is this Oksana Krishina, who did her choker routine, which I think is probably the best that I have seen ever. It was even like fear that I felt when I watched her back in the days when she was competing in the Olympia, and I was then in the audience. And yeah, it made me feel like goosebumps. So that was something great. Not any crazy acrobatics. Not everything was clean, well performed, and most of all the how she performed it. That was the thing. And that's also important, that our routine is like 2 minutes, that it's something so entertaining that as when you're sitting in the audience, you want to watch the whole thing, and you're not feeling like, okay, how long this is going to last. It's all the time the same thing, and I'm not feeling anything. So also that is important. Yeah.
Do you feel like that whenever you're in the past with your experiences competing and performing, do you think that you can tell when you're not like it, like time goes slower or faster when you're doing better or worse?
Well, I can tell that's bad. If you get the right kind of like how to say, it's not the wind or something like that, when you go on stage, and when you come out, you don't remember anything. You were in some character, and in that moment that you only felt the audience and the stage, but when you come out, you don't remember anything, and it went super good. But then if you start to think like during your routine, like I did once in Olympia, and right after that I made a mistake. But I was thinking, okay, this is going pretty well, and boom, I made a mistake. So when you are not like totally focused, and you're starting to think, okay, this is going well, then it's not the, for me it goes like that. So I need to be like so focused about performing and doing the thing, that I'm not thinking like, okay, this is not going well, or this is not going so well, or nothing like that. If you made a mistake, you have to like clear that immediately, like forget it, and continue even better. If you start to think about that okay, now I made a mistake, then you cannot anymore rise yourself to the level that you were before the mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like flow, getting into that flow state, if you will, of just like things
Yes.
are coming naturally and you're not thinking. And, I think a lot of athletes can relate to that. From a mental perspective, though, when you're practicing and you get out of, like, if you're going through your whole routine and you do start thinking about things and you start making mistakes, is that where you just like cut it off, or is that where you go and maybe do like some mental practice? Like, what do you do in that case?
You mean when I'm practicing?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm making mistakes, then if it comes in the beginning, then I just end it, and I start again from the beginning. So then I can get like a good start, and the flow goes on. Um, but yeah, that's what I usually do. But if it's quite in the end, then I just keep going, because so it has to be also in the competition.
Right.
If there happens something, you just have to push and keep going. So you cannot like say, stop the music, stop the music, I will start again. So I think that's also important. And also sometimes that you have to go and perform, even though you feel a little bit tired, that you are not your 100%, because you might be feeling the same things during the competition day. But yeah, mental practice is also really important, I think. before competition, before going on stage, I always go the routine in my head. And also like, especially when I'm practicing it, then I do it more. And later on, a little less. But always before the show, I do it more.
Are you looking for a supplement company that can help take your fitness game to the next level? Look no further than All Sport Pharmaceuticals. Their cutting-edge supplements are scientifically formulated to give you the edge you need in the gym and in life. Whether you're looking to build muscle, increase endurance, or boost recovery time, All Sport Pharmaceuticals has you covered. And with a wide range of products designed for people of all levels, you're sure to find the perfect supplement for your needs. So why wait? Give your body the support it deserves with All Sport Pharmaceuticals. Visit their website today to learn more and start achieving your fitness goals.
Like specifically on show day, you know, if you're, let's say at the Olympia, right, it's the biggest stage. You want everything to kind of be more or less perfect, right? It's the perfect, you know, I'm going through my routine perfectly and things like that. At that point, when you're backstage, are you still going through it? Or are you just kind of like trying to think about other things?
The routine round, we always warm up. We keep our body warm so we are ready when our turn is. So I think that what is happening there. But then when you are already standing in line and there is one girl before you, then in a way, I just have to I clear my mind and I try just to be on that moment and feel that kind of energy. Also, I get energy from the athlete who is before me on stage. If I can see a bit of her routine or performance, then also I get some energy from her, like how she's doing, and then I'm like excited to go on stage. But I'm not going anymore through the routine choreo or anything like that in my head. It's more like just getting focused that I'm going on stage and that I'm going to make a show.
And so at what point in your career did you start to see, or did maybe other people start to see, coaches and things like that, start to see the potential in you as far as like getting to the highest level and competing at the highest level?
Probably when I started, then we had still like magazines in Finland, and I was like a rising star when I competed for the first time. Then I was second in the nationals, and then the next year I won it, and then I qualified for the worlds, and I also placed there second. So then everybody was starting to write that, okay, she's soon going to be in the Olympia, and she's really like potential and everything like that. But yeah, I think in the beginning there was a high expectation towards me, and then when I continued competing and that the level went higher, there was like, even in Finland, there was a woman who just won world championships in bodybuilding, woman bodybuilding. And she was the world champion. And then she wanted to change her category in the fitness. So, of course, I was a little over 20, only trained for a few years at the gym. So I was gymnast looking girl next to her. So, and then I probably didn't so well realize that, of course, it takes time to build that kind of physique. They're like 10 years older than I am. But then I started to hesitate that will I be in the top, where I already, like in a way, started to imagine myself that one day I want to compete in the Olympia. Because that year, when I was second in the worlds, I also went to see Olympia in Las Vegas. I wanted to see all the stars and how they looked and the whole event, and it was mind-blowing. I was like, here, someday, this is where I want to be. And then it took longer than I then thought. But many things happened, many injuries. Also, I think that I wasn't mentally in the right place. It was more like a dream. It wasn't a goal. So I think everything, like also the powerlifting, it did really good for me. It was so different kind of sport. I was probably a little soft, girly girl. So I needed to get a bit of aggressivity also to the training and so on. So it took time. But at the moment, I can look back all the years of my career and say that it was good that I believed in myself. And the potential was there. But of course, there are many potential, when I, for example, coach, they're very good potential athletes. But who is the one who is climbing her way to Olympia level? That's always the next question, because there is so many other things also in life happening, and will you be so motivated that you are really want to do the work and think what you need to do better. And also, if you don't win, what happens then? Because sometimes also if you win all the time, and then when you don't, it might be so hard thing to go through in your head that it might start to affect you a bit. And I think that was also something that happened after my start in the fitness industry, when I almost like won all the things and everybody was like, okay, she's going to be the next big thing from Finland. And then I went to nationals and I didn't win. And I felt it really like rough, because I think my childhood was really good. Everything that I wanted to like, I was really good in school. I was good in gymnastics, cheerleading. So everything went always like quite good. And now I was planning that, okay, now I'm going to win. And then I didn't. So then I was 22 years old. And I think it really rocked my world. And I couldn't like go through it in the right way in my head. And it started to affect me a bit. I was starting to hesitate myself. I was starting to think, what if I fail again? What if I fail everybody's expectations? Because now they are waiting that I will be competing in the Olympia and I would win my pro card and so on. And if it's not happening, and it started to affect my training, of course, if you don't believe in yourself. And I think that was something that happened, and it affected me too long time. Because one of the reasons was also that I have never been so well about speaking, like Finns usually are. We don't have any small talk or anything like that. But I kept everything inside my head. And when you keep everything inside your head, you start to, small thing might come quite big. Mm-hmm. So that was also a mistake that I would probably do differently if I would go back time. But now I just think that that has been my road here where I am. And it also, I think it built the whole personality that I am today. And I think that at the moment I'm also like quite strong, and I know what I want and where I want to be, what I want from my life, and what makes me happy, and everything is like really in a good balance. And I think that has been also like the thing, that everything has gone to the right places. And then finally the potential that they back in the day saw came reality like 5 years ago when I competed in my first Olympia. And from that day, I think I have been developing all the time. And I'm just so keen and excited to go on, because I'm feeling like that I can still be better. I have still a new level waiting for me, but I'm quite near of that. But yes, it has been a ride. It has been many emotions, and but all the things that has happened, I think they have been there for a reason. That's the reason why I'm here today, and now prepping for the Master Olympia, and also coaching athletes, so I can give them quite a lot, because everything that I have experienced from the sport. So I think I can help them in different areas in life and in this sport.
You see it a lot in sports when, there's a really great athlete that's young, right? And they've never lost. Like you kind of mentioned, you had success in this thing. People have these expectations for you. And then you meet that first obstacle. You see it all the time in American sports. Like we hype up our athletes. It's like people that are, kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old signing, to go to college at this prestigious school. And where are they when they finally turn 18? Are they even in the sport anymore? And, pro athletes who get drafted, and, it's crazy what the pressure that we put on ourselves, but also that other people put on for us, the expectations that people do put on. But it's also crazy to me that we as people get the strongest when we don't win, when we don't succeed, when we go through those obstacles. That's when we really grow as a person, which is just crazy if you think the goal is to win, but to develop, most of the times it takes those losses.
Yes, I think the same. And you cannot be like good winner, good champion if you're not a good loser as well. So you have to, because if you're an athlete, always something can happen. So you have to understand that sometimes you don't win, and that's life. That's one competition. You keep going, and eventually you will get into your goal. So it's something that you don't. It's not end of the world. It's part of being an athlete and being a good athlete. That you know how to do both things. Right. In sports. There is only one winner, so it's quite rough world. But I think the same, that the most you learn in those moments when you don't win, then you have to start to analyze what I have to change, and you have to have the motivation to be better, to do things that you can win. If you start to feel like, oh, poor me, then it might be not a good thing.
And for you, when you finally got to that stage, when you finally got to the Olympia stage, when you looked around at okay, these are the people that I'm competing against, as well as these are the people that I'm just here with, like the people that are in different divisions and things. For you, did it turn on any light bulbs for you, or what did you gain from being at that first Olympia?
First time, I have to admit that it was so emotional, because I was there finally. I think I felt all the emotions that I went through the years before getting on Olympia stage before. So it was emotionally really hard the whole weekend. And when it was over, I was super tired. I was super happy, of course, but it was, in a way, it went more like I was only there to be on stage. So it wasn't anything like now I'm competing to be in the top 10 or top 5 even. It was more about, now this is my Olympia debut. I'm going there. I'm going to enjoy and see where I am against the best of the world. A lot went really fast through the whole weekend. And at first I was like, what just happened? Because it was so emotional feeling that I went through. But yeah, it was the start. And you always have to start somewhere. And it was more like going on stage and seeing where you are at the moment and what you need to do if you want to be better.
Right. Was there any level of intimidation because of these athletes were the people that you've been watching for years?
No, actually there was more, because the ones that I watched for years, most of them weren't anymore competing. Of course, there was Oksana, yes, but I remember, for example, Monica Brand was one of my biggest idols when I started. So she wasn't competing anymore. Also, I remember Adela Garcia. She wasn't competing anymore, but she was somebody who I followed a lot. So there was more, not those faces that I followed, but this was like a new field. Of course, in different divisions, there were more of the ones that I've been following for years. But in fitness, it was more of the new people coming in. Of course, they were already been in the fitness and fitness Olympia before, but because I started so many years ago, so the ones that I followed then when I was 20, they weren't competing in the Olympia anymore when I competed there. But of course, I knew who are the top athletes, and it was just amazing being on same stage and to be able to compare yourself and your body against them. So that was a huge thing and a motivation.
This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Looking for a supplement company that's as serious about your fitness goals as you are? All Sport Pharmaceuticals is here to help. Their top-of-the-line supplements are designed to help you get the most out of every workout with ingredients that have been scientifically proven to enhance performance and recovery. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out on your fitness journey, All Sport Pharmaceuticals has the perfect supplements to help you achieve your goals. Plus, with their commitment to quality and safety, you can trust that you're getting a product that's both effective and reliable. So what are you waiting for? Take your fitness game to the next level with All Sport Pharmaceuticals. Visit the website today to learn more.
Yeah. Did you feel like a responsibility at all because you had finally reached the stage and maybe even you still do feel a responsibility to like honor those who came before you or also inspire those who are looking at you now?
Of course, it's always like Olympia stage. That's the huge thing. That's an honor, like you said. It has been going on for years. I just watched an old document where they were also like prepping for Olympia. It's the huge thing, and it's so many of the athletes who compete in this sport. It's the dream and it's the goal. So of course you want to be your best there, and you want to inspire other ones as well. You want to show that it's possible that you live in Finland and still you compete in the Olympia, and even you are like really competitive there. So it doesn't matter where you live, you can still attain your goal and your dream, and you can even win the Olympia. So it's not anymore like that you have to live in USA, because back in the days I think that was also like a thing that quite many asked, that okay, when you turn pro you are going to move to USA. Then it was more of the thing, because I remember that some of the Finnish pro athletes, they moved to state back in the days, but at the moment it's not the case anymore. So now it's like it's really good that you can, like, it's a fair sport, everybody do their like job, and if you get qualification for the Olympia, it's huge honor, it's a dream come true, and yeah, it's great to inspire also other ones, maybe athletes from Scandinavia, that you can really like just keep pushing and you get there.
Do you have a favorite Olympia?
I think maybe my best one's 2020 or 2021, because then I already trained towards that I could qualify for the Olympia. And I also like analyzed with Jani the pictures, what I need to do to be better. So all the preparation was more focused, more planned those years, or then it started. So I think that was a huge difference, because before I just did because I love to train and I love the lifestyle. It was more like I just did. And then it came more like planned and what I need to do to be better and to be better in the Olympia as well. So then that changed, and I think the whole preps went really well. And also the experience was, of course, different, because it was already my second and third time. And of course, also last year was great. I think I did good performance in my routine. I had some things that I already like, okay, my physique round, posing and things like that, I could do better. So there is always something, I think, in every show that you think that, okay, that I can do better, that was good, and what I need to practice for the next one. So there isn't yet the perfect show. Of course, there's always something that I can, or I think I can improve. And I think as long as I have that feeling, that keeps me going. When I know that there is things that I need to improve and I can improve and I want.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to work towards that. Then when I start to feel that, okay, this is maybe it. Like this was the best that I could do. The end. Then it might be that it starts to affect you. I don't know, because I have always been in that kind of mentality that there is things that I want to do and I can do better. And I believe in that. That's something that I think that also motivates.
With bodybuilding, it's just such like this equal playing field in regards to like everybody is on that same level. And if you're going to be where you want to be, then it's really 100% on what you're doing every single day.
It is. And of course, there is like all the athletes are different. Some might be really like potential, like has the amazing structure, and or somebody is really good to pose or something that they don't need to practice so much. But we are all individuals and we need to have like a vision towards what we are going. And all the athletes, because we have different structures, different height, different everything. So I think it's important to find what is your vision and what is the best look that suits for you. And you're going towards that one. But of course, the angle changes. For example, when you go to your first show, it's always like you don't even know what is going to happen. Then if you would win the first show, then the next one would be like totally different. You either would be like, okay, I'm the champ, I'm going to work more because everybody wants to win me. Or then you can start to think that, okay, everybody thinks now I'm the champion. Do I look like that? Do I train hard enough? What happens if I don't win? I have to win. And it comes an obsession. So there is so many angles what might happen if you win, if you don't win, what kind of pressure you get from different things. So and you cannot say what is going to happen to some athlete or to me before I have been on that position. When you can go through that, then you can be like 100% sure that, okay, I think like this from this position about winning or about losing.
Over time, do you feel like that you have, or just in general, do you feel like that there's like it's kind of like a snowball effect where you just continue to learn and grow and like everything continues to pile up and like be more advantageous for you? Or do you feel like it's kind of like a one step forward and then maybe a step back and then two steps forward and one step back and then two more steps? Like, do you feel like it's more like that, or do you feel like it's just kind of like constantly growing?
Well, I think that sport is that you go two steps forward, then one step back. That's probably the main, if you can like say something about sport, that what it is, and that how it has gone, or even like two step forward, two step back before. But at the moment, I feel like I'm inside the snowball, and everything is just coming in the right places. Like I said, the last 5 years, I feel like every year I'm mentally more prepared. I can diet harder. I can get more out of my trainings, and I learn all the time new things about my body, and that also like grows my motivation all the time. So I feel like the last years I have been inside the snowball, and I feel like everything is just in the right place, and so like full of positive energy, and I feel that I'm just inside there, and I just repeat what I'm doing and enjoy the ride, and everything feels like I'm so privileged to do what I love, and in this kind of level, what I have always been dreamed of. So yeah, at the moment I feel like it's going like this.
Gotcha.
And it's full of like positiveness.
And so with the Masters Olympia, if you do anything different? What do you do different?
We analyzed how I looked in my last show and also what I need to do to be better version of me and better version of my body, how I can look better, like the total package, and what we need to do towards that. So that's how we started to do, and we thought about what muscle groups or what small details we need to make better. And this actually after the Arnold USA, so the trainings have gone really well. I have no injuries, no nothing, no even smaller ones. So, and I have all the time my training partner at the gym. So training has been harder than, for example, last year and more focused. And so I feel like that has been like the key thing towards these masters, Olympia, and also, of course, the mental side, because that's really important that you have your head with you and in the right direction. And also there has been some changes and what we have tried in my diet, and so it's exciting to see how I look on stage next week. Yeah, because everything has gone really well. If I'm thinking about training and the whole prep for this and time before that, so I think everything has gone really well, and I hope that shows on stage.
Are you going into it at all with a different perspective because it is maybe in even just a geographical location or anything like that? Like, are you going into it just with a different, not like a negative or positive mindset, but just a different mindset around it?
In a way, this is like, because normally all the big shows are in the USA. So that's that then I need to travel more and the flight is longer. In a way, of course, I'm used to that because of my job, but still, it's different. So now it feels like so easy that, okay, I can just fly there and fly back, and it's a 1 weekend trip there and back. But otherwise, it's a big show like all the rest ones are. So there is no like different thoughts about that. So I just I have been thinking just that I want to give my all, like all the trainings that I have been doing, that I can give my 100%, and that's enough. But so that I can say that I have been prepping for this as well, that I can, as hard as I can. So I'm just excited to see how it looks. And of course, all the time you have to like think, because Olympia is the standard, and how the division winner looks like. So in a way, you have to all the time check where you're going, and that has to be in a way that goal. Of course, like I said, all the bodies are different, and the best look might be different. Also, the one who is the winner or second or so on. But it's important to have the vision and go towards that, even though it doesn't matter what show it is. Just I think that the mental side has to be that I want to give my best and give my all, and then see how the day goes. Yeah.
So for you, kind of going into after this show and into the future a little bit, what does the future for you hold? Do you have any specific goals or plans, or is it just kind of seeing what happens?
Of course, I'm going to see what happens next weekend, but whatever happens, of course, the goal would be to compete also in the Open Olympia this year, next year. At the moment, everything looks pretty good. Like I said, I have no injuries, nothing that is stopping me. And I still feel like that I have been developing, and I can give my all, and I can improve. So I think so long I can keep going until I realize that, okay, I cannot be any more better, that now my it's going to happen, so that I'm going to lower my level. But at the moment, everything looks good. I'm super motivated and excited. So, of course, to qualify for the Olympia this year, hopefully. And next year, Honored USA would be also an honor to compete because it's an invitational. So that's the near future. But whatever happens, Monday is training day, like I said. And then you can start to grow yourself again and develop the things you need to, because next year and next year's Olympia is already quite near as well. So, but yeah, of course, it's the goal to compete as much as possible this year in the big shows and qualify for the Olympia. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that motto, whatever happens, Monday is training day. I think that's such a
But
good,
it is.
Right.
It is. It really doesn't change your life when you're living like a lifestyle that you love.
Yeah.
If you win or if you lose, you are going to be in the gym on Monday. And the work continues. Yeah.
That's great. I really like that. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, though. It's really great getting to chat with you, and best of luck with your Masters Olympia and Olympias moving forward, and with your training, stay healthy, all that kind of stuff. It was great getting to chat with you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was so great to be part of your show and represent also IFBB Pro League and fitness and European athlete who is going to Master Olympia. Yeah. And by the way, it's going to be next Sunday, so 27th day. So, and there is also pay-per-view. So if you want to watch, you can check that out from the Master Olympia Instagram, for example.
Awesome. Well, if you want to share any of your own personal website or social media or anything like that, you can go ahead and do that.
Yes, my Instagram is the one that I probably post more. And it's just Minna Pajulahti. Last name is hard, but it's Pajulahti. And also the same is in Facebook and so on. But Instagram is the most common that I use. And if anybody has any questions or anything at all, you can DM me. And most of them I try to reply as well. Huge thank you to my sponsors, Better Bodies, Gasp, Proton Europe is going to be also in the Masters Olympia. They're always in the Olympia, and Arnold, so they're always the one that check my color is perfect for the stage. And also 10X Athletics, so supplements wise, and everybody who has been supporting me, and also all my followers. Thank you for your support. That means a lot that you have been with me some of you have been the whole road. And of course, thank you, the whole IFBB Pro League, the Master Olympia crew that is coming to Romania, Olympia crew, and the whole IFBB Pro League family. It's great to be part of that kind of organization and represent the fitness category. Thank you to my coach, Alina Poppa, Jani Halainen, and yes, that's about it, I think. But if I didn't mention somebody, you know that you mean a lot to me. So thank you.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.